one of the things that we noticed was that these local races, especially these nonpartisan races, and even though there's always a political bend to them, and
I have to just qualify who you're talking about, because who he's talking about are commissioners from the town of Surfside. And if you recall, that's where the building collapse happened over the summer. And these happen to be two commissioners, by the way, that have been pushing and pushing and pushing for an investigation and keep getting turned away. And now that the lawsuits are going to be settling and not going to court, there isn't going to be an investigation into what's going on there. And the town of Surfside has spent its own money. There's also a national allowance that's been put aside to do this. But these two commissioners, these two councilwomen, were the ones that were banging loudly to do the investigation. And now they're no longer on the commission. We will be having them on to talk about this, because this is a huge problem that they're not getting to the bottom of what happened to Champlain Towers and Surfside. And now two of those commissioners just lost their seats. Now, those could be completely unrelated things. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is the two biggest advocates to getting to the bottom of what happened at Champlain Towers are now no longer serving on the Surfside Commission. So I think that's a problem. Whether or not those are related, it's still a problem, people. So yeah, because Champlain Towers will not be the only one.
No.
They've already evacuated multiple buildings.
A building that's like just a couple of blocks up?
Yeah, they've already evacuated multiple buildings along the beach, not just in Surfside, but I believe one has been evacuated in Hallandale. Like, there have been multiple evacuations. So you might not get the building collapsing and killing people in the middle of the night scenario, but we're still dealing with buildings that are having that issue and being evacuated. So, you know, hopefully nobody gets killed from this, but the problem still remains. And so the idea that we're not going to be able to investigate or get to the bottom of exactly what happened at Surfside should be an outrage to everybody, and especially people that live in coastal communities, because if you don't think that that construction issue is going to affect you, if you have anything built in the 80s and early 80s and beyond, this could affect you.
And there are a lot of buildings that are old, not just in Surfside, but in some of the other communities, especially as you head north towards places like Aventura, Hallandale, Hollywood, even Dania. These buildings are old, and they're on the water, and they're not.
And there are going to be fatalities from this. There are going to be, because yeah, you can evacuate when you see it, and that's great, but there's going to be times when you don't. And just the mere fact that we are not upgrading our infrastructure, we are not dealing with this. And the only way this can be dealt with. And I feel like I'm the only person that has said this. And I see people talking about the condo issue and the saltwater erosion and the intrusion and all of these. Like, I see that, but yet nobody else is mentioning that these associations cannot afford to fix the problems, even if they want to. So you can make laws that force them to fix the problem, but you can't bleed a rock. And I know that when you're talking about those old condos, you have people that have been living in there for years. A lot of them probably don't even have mortgages anymore. And you're going to think that somebody living and potentially on a very fixed income is going to come up with a $300,000 assessment for a one-bedroom condo, which is what they were saying it would have been at Champlain Towers. These people can't do that. No. So you're going to have condos and condos of people that are going to lose the value in their homes. Or lose their homes, both. They're not going to be able to afford to fix them. And they're going to have to be evacuated because they're not going to be able to live in an unsafe building. So this is huge. This isn't even something that the state can deal with. This is an MMT situation. And therefore we need the currency issuer has to be the one to fix this problem. And so I don't know what's like. All they're doing in Tallahassee is coming up with rules to force the condo associations to address the issues. Okay. I don't see how they're going to be able to fix the issues. Most of the people in those old buildings, I would venture to say, could not afford the assessments to fix the buildings.
I still don't understand how people want to live on top of one another the way that they do. That is something that I still find
I've never understood that. I've never been a condo-minded person. It's not my vibe. However, I feel very badly for people that are going to lose their homes. And when I say their homes, not even physically, but financially. If you can't afford to fix it and it's uninhabitable,
and it's not worth the foundation it's built on.
Exactly. Then what are you going to do with that? And there's going to be a mass problem of this, people. Mass problem. I grew up down here. A lot of the buildings, many of the buildings from when I were growing up, they're all still down there. And I'm old, people. So that's old. Champlain Towers, when was that built?
I think in the 1970s.
Right. That's been built in my lifetime. Built and washed away in my lifetime. And I just, I feel like we're the people running around saying the sky is falling and nobody's
And no
listening.
one is listening.
Nobody's listening. And I hate to say this, but to anybody who thinks of like buying property in Florida, like coastal property or condos, people, even if you buy a brand new condo and your condo is in solid shape and it's good and it even can deal with the saltwater and, encroachment and all that, you're going to be living amongst graveyard buildings that can't afford to be fixed. The property value of being on a beach that has a bunch of abandoned structures that nobody can afford to fix, that's going to hurt all of our property values, even if you live in the fancy building where you can drive your Porsche up to your condo, which, by the way, is so disgusting to me. I could vomit.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.